Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ Carter, here with criticalblast.com, and it is our time to get together for our regular bi-weekly sort of ish meeting with the LCS guys. And tonight, joining us from Berkeley, California, we have got Yule Carter. Yule, how you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. It's 4th of July weekend, and I'm not working, so I'm not making money. That's always fun. And from Belleville, Illinois, Cosmic Comics, we've got Cosmic Dave Dyer, and I can already see now that this border I put up here is going to be problematic.
How do everybody?
I can fix this. I can fix this.
We can hear you. Okay, so the next thing Howard will do is edit our border and make it even tinier, where you can't even tell that they're comic book panels.
There you go.
Or just remove it entirely. Michael Tierney's not with us tonight. We're hoping he'll show up a little bit later. But in the meantime, is in a new location. Right, Yule?
Actually, your mic went out, and I didn't hear the question.
Oh, I just said that you're in a new location now.
Yeah, this is my comic store. This is the back wall of comic books. You can see Black Hammer right there. Great Jeff Lemire comic book, of course, with Dean Ormston, and all the other stuff behind me right now.
And joining us from Comic Town in Columbus, Ohio, we've got Ryan Seymour. Ryan, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, Ryan.
Well,
we're just saying Yule is coming to us from his brand new location.
yeah,
nice.
We've been open about a month. Yeah.
But you haven't been able to do anything in there, right?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about how cramped it is, then no, you're right. Not much. But as far as people coming in, we allow a customer or their group, if it's like 2 or 3 people, to come in the store at a time and then have a line of people waiting. We all wear masks when it happens. Here's mine right here. We have emergency supply ones if needed, because I leave them all throughout the store everywhere.
we do have an affinity for masked men, so why not?
Sure, exactly.
Now, is it a bigger space or like a different area?
It's a smaller place, cheaper rent, in a more neighborhood-driven area. So, whereas I was in the downtown portion of the city before, I'm now in a nice little local area, and it's I'm gonna we're just like trying to get everything up and running smoothly before we really start letting people know that we're out here. Yeah. As far as new people are concerned, but I'm really happy to start welcoming in the neighborhood. And a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're closer to us than you've ever been," So it's been pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome! That's so exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Yule, this is your first week getting a Lunar Order, am I correct?
Well, yeah. So they deliver. So we're having our shipments delivered to our home address. So my brother, while I'm here at the store, is at his place waiting for it. And supposedly someday today, we're supposed to get our first Lunar Order, which I guess would be for next week. So how exciting. More than just the day before it coming out that there would be some comic books. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're packaged and just everything coming. Hopefully.
Okay,
you'll be happy. You'll be very happy.
All right.
So you're using Lunar too?
Yeah, they were the ones that were suggested when we first got our contract, when they were like, hurry up and get one of these 2 companies. But I found out since then we could move over to UCB if we want. but I'm going to stick with this right now, see how they do. They're working really well with us, getting back to us, even though it's very limited people working there.
Yeah.
Doing better than Diamond.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, Dave, you've been getting Lunar orders for a little while now, right?
Yeah, we've been getting it for 7 or 8 weeks. So, yeah. And every one of them is perfectly packed. Comes FedEx, which I like. I have nothing against UPS, but the thing is I can rely on FedEx getting it to me by 10:15, 10:30 on Friday. So I've got all weekend to check it in. I love that.
Oh,
As
wow.
opposed to Diamond that I get on Tuesday, I got to spend all day checking it in Tuesday to pull it Tuesday night to be ready for Wednesday.
You know, the thing about Tuesdays were, we'd be open, getting the stuff in and then checking it in. But it's really taking up our, this is like the last time to actually sell new comic books from last week on a Tuesday. And that rush really affected my personality when I'm, oh no, a customer came in to buy something. They're putting me out. I mean, obviously not, but when you're trying to get that other crap done, it can come across that way in the very least sometimes. It would sound so wonderful to have a weekend.
I agree with you. I went from getting my Diamond on a Wednesday, rushing my ass off to get things ready for people at 4 o'clock when I got told everybody to come in. Then I paid the extra $5, which is now $4, to get it on a Tuesday, and I'm like still rushed to get it done. I'm here late Tuesday night doing the pull list. We have everything ready for Wednesday, putting the books out Tuesday night. Some shops shut down on Tuesday. Just close up Tuesday. Like some of my competitors will close on Tuesday to get everything checked in and everything. I don't do that. So Lunar, I'm loving because, like I said, I got Lunar this morning. I've already looked at it. A couple of real nice surprises for me, but because I've been a retailer from the very beginning with them. They sent me a nice little gift that I pooped my pants on. And, I'm really, really happy with Lunar. I can't say anything bad about these guys whatsoever. Like anything, you write them, and it takes usually a day for them to get back to you, but they've always been very cool and helpful and take care of my questions. So, yeah, I think you're going to be really surprised. You're going to like them.
I went with UCS, so I might be the brave space monkey testing them out. But they finally they cleared my credit card today for the shipment. So because I was starting to get really, really worried because with Diamond, there's been out of the last few weeks, there've been 2 weeks I haven't got my books until Thursday or Friday.
Oh yeah, it's been bad.
Yeah, it's so when I finally got that email saying that invoice has been processed, my stuff's on the way, I was like, all right, thank you, Jesus, thank you.
Wednesday to be Old Comic Book Day.
See, I don't know. We're closed. We're one of the stores that are closed on Tuesday. We're down to a very truncated, myself and my business partner, just with Columbus getting very, very slowly getting back to it. So we're not going to be doing Tuesday as New Book Day, but now that I'm seeing next week's DC offerings are really, really awesome. So I'm kind of do I just kind of unlock the doors and let people in? How do I do this?
Well, I think that from what I've been noticing with my core people is a lot of them will just go ahead and wait till Wednesday to get everything, both DC and Diamond, Marvel, Independent. They'll just wait till that Wednesday. Yeah. Some of them will come in on Tuesday and pick out what they want and go, well, I'll be back tomorrow, or that kind of thing. So really, it's whatever going to work for you. I haven't noticed a huge uptick in sales on Tuesday now that we're permanently open. So I think you'll figure out what and adjust as you need to on it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but if they're trying to knock down your door on Tuesday for that hot Batman book,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hey, there's some people that buy Batman or buy DC and Marvel. Then there's the only Marvel or the only DC people. If you know who they are, you can do something special for them. maybe make it a happening, because we have very few of those right now in comic books. So it at least is affording us an opportunity to do something a little different, which is kind of cool.
No happenings? Didn't you celebrate Free Comic Book Day last Wednesday?
Wait a second. Free Comic Day is every Wednesday now or something like that.
It pissed me off so much because when you did Diamond and you tiered it right and you got 20, 20, 10, then you got the gold status where you were put under their website as a free comic book. I don't give a shit now because there is no free comic book. So it's Free Comic Book Wednesday. I'm just here. I'm throwing them at you. Take them. Get them off my table.
Well, I mean, hey, if that's the way it's got to be for that to happen. The one thing I was saying is that to get that status, you have to buy a certain amount of books, all across the board. And even when you're giving away free comic books, I mean, they're free, right? Certain ones have a little bit more importance, and when they aren't around, like if you don't have the X-Men book or whatever the DC book is, and you only have Firepower, maybe people won't care as much. But if I can give someone Firepower and they're getting the Negan book, they might buy the Firepower trade that came out. So if people are coming in weekly, it's not that big a deal as long as there's something new. It's all right.
And the idea of the whole Free Comic Book Saturday was you could build a really cool event and get the cosplayers in like we did, barbecue, and we did a real big to-do, and we had people in constantly to get their free comics. Now it's just like, oh, can I have one of these? Yeah, go ahead. Here's your Firepower, and hand it to them. There's no event around it. But what's pissing me off is we as retailers are not getting any extra special, sorry, there isn't going to be a Free Comic Book Saturday, so we'll even make these cheaper for you. No, they're still charging me, the same price that they were going to charge me with a one-day event. So, there's got to be some give and take here, and that's where my issue, because I can't build a big event around it. They're like, oh, you can tailor make it. Yeah, you really can't, because you're giving yours away right now. Ryan's giving his away. The shop down the street's giving theirs away, and I'm going to wait till it's Saturday in September.
Yeah.
So,
it just depends on how you're going to go about it. I'm fine. I feel like I don't have as much of a desire to buy all those other titles now. That's the one thing. Maybe I don't need those 2000 AD or whatever it is. Whatever the book may be, or Firepower.
On my final cutoff last night, I cut some of them back. I'm not going to get 20 of the boys #1. Instead, I'll just take 10.
Right.
So yeah.
It's like, at least with Image, they seem to have timed it to where you had the Firepower trade, you had the Negan one shot. I don't know if the other companies are going to do that. Like, that's something I would really, really love if they did, because that did help us move the Firepower trade. Like, we were able to get that free copy into people's hands, and another day or two they came back.
Yeah.
You know what? Notice nowhere on this Image cover for Firepower does it say from the creator of The Walking Dead.
Right. Yeah, that would be a definite good ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
would.
Nobody's asked for the Firepower trade paperback from me, and I've already gone through my stack of Firepower comics. Already handed them out. Whether I'm supposed to or not, I don't care.
Yeah,
get them off because I got ones coming in. I got other ones coming in next week, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, my unfortunate was that I got the Firepower free comic on the same day as the trade, and it was like,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Joe in the chat is asking about Diamond. He said, "Didn't Diamond lose their license?" That's not really the case. They didn't really have a license. They had a contract, didn't they?
Yeah,
it was a contract, right?
And as far as I understand it, as far as I understand it, the agreement that DC and Diamond had was that if there ever was a time that Diamond couldn't distribute, that would give a loophole where DC could get out of the exclusivity.
Right.
So that would shut down, triggered, and then they got out.
Well, that brings me to this. Everybody get this? Did you all get this in your email?
I did not. Oh,
Jeffy coming back?
Yeah, Jeffy Jeffy, RJ, you want to go ahead and lead off with this?
Yep. Go right ahead. I mean, that's exactly where I was going with.
Okay. Well, I don't want to step on you. It's your show.
Well, no, it's all your show. I just click buttons over here and try to keep it going. But yeah, Steve.
Yeah. You just make sure I don't cut too much, okay? So yeah,
Jeffy has come out of retirement. He's come back from Miami. He's brought the families back to the table. He says, "Now listen here. This is how we're going to do the show." And the guy who's running
I don't think he talks like that.
Well, I don't know. He's New Yorker, man.
I think he talks more like an Oompa Loompa from the Tim Burton movie. Sorry, guys. I mean, come on, look at him. He does. He looks like the Oompa Loompa from Tim Burton's movie.
I read his letters in Joe Pesci's voice.
All right, so yeah, and apparently Dan Heidman is departing the organization. So Dan is the scapegoat, I would imagine, who's been let go because he did a crappy job. So
he lost DC. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so we're going to see what's going to happen to Steve Jeffy. And look, in the last 48 hours, a lot has happened. I get a call from email from EE Entertainment, and they are now doing all DC collectible figures and toys, statues, everything. So Diamond no longer has any association with DC whatsoever. Now, I immediately call EE up because if any of you guys have worked with EE, you know that you only buy case amounts with them. They don't break cases. That doesn't do me any good because I'm a small mom and pop, as most of us are. I don't need a case of anything, okay? Unless I can go in on it with Buell and Ryan, and I can say, guys, want to split up a case, and we'll do it that way, right? But so I called them up and I said, guys, through Diamond, I with most of Diamond stuff, I had the ability to buy 1, 2, or 3, whatever. I didn't have to buy a full case unless it was of a certain figure line that was coming out. And that's usually Marvel, like Marvel Legends, we have to buy a case of them, or Ninja Turtles, we have to buy a case of them. And he goes, really? He goes, you were able to buy them individually? I said, yeah, like the DC 112 figures. Those are $80 retail figures. I don't need a case of 5 of them, or 6 of them, or 4 of them. I just want 1. So he's like, okay. He goes, so send me an email saying that. Show me what your discount rate is, because we want to match that. He goes, I will take this to the powers that be above. I'm sure I'll get a lot of pushback, but we're going to have to let them know that a lot of shops were offered that through Diamond. And I said, yeah, if you guys can now break up cases and do individual orders like onesies and twosies, you guys will increase your business probably tenfold. Because most of us are not going to buy, if I have to buy a case of 1 Superman figure, I'm not going to do it. And I don't know many companies that can. Big box stores, yes. Big Targets and Walmart, they can do that. So it's going to be interesting because I told the EE, you guys are going to have to change a lot. Congratulations on landing the deal, but you're going to have to change now how you do business. And so we'll see what's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight, but that's a big deal right there.
That's a very but that's the power of competition. They see what their competitor was doing. They knew why you were going to them for business. Now they want to do the same thing so that they don't lose all that business.
Right. And then on top of that, the other news, and I found this out because once again I got a call from Asmodee Games, and they pretty much they're everybody. Okay, they put out keyboards and a lot of your Magic and all of that. And they have separated from Alliance Games. Alliance is owned by Diamond. So this is the equivalent of Diamond losing DC. They've lost the DC of games distribution as well, and that's Asmodee. Asmodee is doing direct shipping now from their own company. That's huge. That means I don't have to, unless I'm getting a Monopoly game, I don't have to go through Alliance ever again. That's the truth of it. I can go to Asmodee and get the same break and better shipping charges, and they'll send it right to us. So Diamond got hit hard this week, big time, big time.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and just all the other companies aren't really putting out enough merchandise for. It's looking scary for them right now. Don't you? I mean,
Yeah, it
you're
really
seeing
is.
that, right? Whew.
Yeah.
I kind of was calling it, a while ago, but I was under the impression, Jeppy's a little older. Maybe he might not want to deal with all this stuff. He has gone out on YouTube and becoming the president again. It suggests that he is into this again, whereas he might have lost his way. But it really wasn't that long ago he was president before, so they might throw this other guy under the bus. But I mean, Jeppy was there this whole time, really, and they might be shuffling positions. And a lot of people are making fun of like all the different names that they have within their organization. There's some funny names, corporate speak. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is like his last last big raise. That's what I kind of been joking about. It's like, I'll make myself president so I can get a couple extra bucks and see where this thing leads us.
If I'm going to think, I'm going to embezzle the damn place anyway. So,
as well.
This could be a good thing for some of the independent comics because if you'll remember, if you were wanting to do an independent comic and you couldn't get X number of sales after your first issue, Diamond would go to you and say, you know what, you're not worth our carrying. It's not worth our time to sell your book. It's worth their time now to get as many more books as they can.
Well, you know what? The other day, you did it to me. You recommended me to this company out of Philly, and I talked to them directly, bought the comics from them directly, and they're shipping it right to me. I mean, I think we're going to see a huge shift in everything. I think the independents are going to be the way to go for a lot of these companies. Marvel's still wagging their finger at everybody, going, you know what, we're probably going to go digital. DC's just like, screw everybody. We're going through Lunar and Midtown, and they're rocking it. Sales is skyrocketing through the roof for them right now. And Marvel's still sitting back going, maybe we'll print this month. Who knows.
We're not even going to draw covers this month. We're just going
to everything's going to be placed. Just say Wednesday on it. And that's it.
Hey, those are variants. Okay. And you can order as many as you want. So go ahead.
Screw me on those like you did Vegan Liz,
Yeah, on the FOC. Yeah, I admit I ordered 2 each. One for me.
Here, I ordered 25 and they sent me 5. That's it.
Of the variants?
I ordered 25 of just a regular Negan Liz.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and now they only sent me 5. Gee, thanks. Thanks
really?
Very much for that.
Yeah.
Talk about getting screwed.
Well, you know what? I don't care if Marvel doesn't publish any more books. I would like to pick up, some Wolverine, Dave, just because I like Vic Bogdanovic taking a stand lately and getting his ass kicked from everybody. If you don't know the story, since the last time we talked, every comic book creator with a penis has been accused of sexual harassment in the industry to one level or another. And Vic came out and said, you know what? If somebody's sexually harassing you, give them a good roundhouse kick, and that stops that. And is like, women in the comic book industry said, "Oh, thanks a lot for not helping us out at all." And it's like, wait a second, he just supported you, but
it wasn't well received, is what you're telling us.
It was not well received. Heather Antos took him to task for it. Some other creators I can't recall took him to task for it. I'm like, fuck it, I want to get Wolverine now and support the guy. But I don't need Marvel comics in my life because when I go to Cosmic Comics, I get stuff that I've never heard of before that is fun to read, like this dual identity thing from Absolute. And I had just a hell of a time with this American Mythology copy of starring Sonia Devereaux. I mean,
that book was so the Aardvarkus and Flagrante between Spider Shark and Snake Bear. I don't even. Yeah. Tab A slot B. I don't know how it worked, but it was so awesome.
It's awesome stuff, man.
I would watch this movie.
I would too. No, I'm telling you that what independent features, what these independent guys are doing is just stunning to me. God bless them. I love the fact that we're supporting them, and I'm sure you guys are. That I'm telling you that the wave of the future at this point.
I really think we're standing at the edge of that, kind of like a few years back. It was the indie revolution. I think we're on the precipice of something like that again, where smaller press companies are letting creators come in and just go crazy. And since they aren't, properties like Wolverine or X-Men or Superman, they don't have to worry about the status quo. They can just do whatever they want and tell a story, and I'm loving it.
Right.
Yeah.
What are the companies you guys look at when it comes to that?
The biggest of them would be like Aftershock. Vault Comics right now is killing it. Source Point's got some really cool stuff too.
Source Point, Zenoscope, still one of my favorites. Yeah, Zenoscope does all. I mean, I always say the greatest artists and writers work for Zenoscope before they go anywhere else. So yeah, good stuff, man. I do really, really well with that stuff.
So, if you go through our history on this channel, everybody watching, we have an interview about a month and a half to 2 months ago with Mark Tedesco from Zenoscope. So you can get some inside scoop on what they're doing and how they were surviving the beer bug and still putting out comics.
Doing good stuff, really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
John
they just wrapped up Monster Planet, and that sold really well. So
Marvel. So you won't ever buy Alien next year or Predator next year, RJ?
You know what? I have not even seen the first Alien movie.
What?
What?
What? Oh, everybody in the chat needs to say something. After the fact, you got to leave a comment down below. That is crazy.
Oh my god!
Everybody go after our
Alien. That was like 78. It came out or something. Come on.
It's on my to watch list.
Oh my god, that's a watch list.
All right, RJ, you have to come in, hang out at the shop. I will put on Alien for you.
That's
okay?
right.
I'll bump it up above Citizen Kane, which I also haven't seen.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, one's one and one's the other, but come on.
I have seen the Alien films, or the Predator films.
Well, all right.
But
it's all right. It's not the same, but it's all right.
That, is Marvel actually going to put Aliens and Predator in the Marvel universe like they did Conan?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean,
X-Men versus Brood versus Predator versus Alien.
The Brood versus the Alien just all together. Winner take all.
We've just seen what Empire leads into, obviously.
Yeah, and look, the only thing I'm excited about that Marvel's going to do is the relaunch of Ultraman. Only thing I care that Marvel. Yeah.
This Ultraman?
That Ultraman, yeah.
Wait. So Marvel's been getting a lot of IPs. They got Conan. They've got Ultraman. They've got now with the Fox stuff. They have Predator and Alien. They also got Warhammer 40,000 not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I guess it's Dan Abnett and Kieran Gillen, who's like a big gaming dork. They're slated to be like the guys that are created or be part of the creative team on that. And that's I think Kieran Gillen's like rumored, but Dan Abnett all the way because he's written the novels and everything. That's Marvel's really been kind of like Disney. They're bringing in all these IPs and like owning them right now.
Kind of like
You can't have
they are
them.
Disney.
Yeah, well, I was giving them a moment of separation there.
They're probably just IPs that are landing on their desk. You know, Michael Eisner saying, "Hey, we got something for you here. Do something with this."
Well, I was talking to someone else earlier today about the fact that Disney, I was kind of worried because, you know, they have their streaming service, but they don't have R-rated movies on them. And, you know, where else are you going to see Disney's, R-rated stuff? And there might be a few platforms out there, but if they don't deem it necessary or even worthy, or maybe they just don't want to overshadow something else that they're doing, you might not see an Alien in the future or a Predator in the future. And Simpsons, and with all the canceling that's going on right now within Disney or within the television and streaming services right now, you could easily get a huge swath of Simpsons just missing, just because of somebody who voiced a character. Maybe it can be something as small as that, or a Golden Girl wearing a mud mask. And then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, what happened to that? And Disney doesn't need to get involved with that kind of crap anymore. They own the world. You gotta be better.
Disney's like, we went through this with Song of the South. We've been out of this game for a long time now.
Yeah. Well, they somehow they've kept Dumbo and things like that around still, but or even recently, the Splash Mountain, which has Brer Rabbit and some of that stuff, it's getting switched to a different IP of theirs. So
The Frog.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not actually familiar because I don't watch Disney cartoons that often anymore.
That's their New Orleans, their New Orleans set princess. It was their big deal at the time because it was their first African American princess.
Yeah, excellent. I sell it. When they do those little Disney princesses. Yeah, totally.
Awkward silence.
That's all right. I didn't have anything else to say. And then Dave got up, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
With Marvel picking up the 40K license, are they shooting for a comic series with that?
I assumed.
I'm a recovering 40K player, so it's like,
oh really?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Oh
Dark
my
Angels.
goodness.
That was my.
I have a whole box of these. You guys want some?
I'm okay. What, DVDs or VHS?
No, that's VHS, baby.
Yeah, I'm okay.
No. Yeah,
Do you know what this one is?
Yeah, I'll buy one of those. I'll take one of those with a DVD or a VHS player, please.
Let me zoom in on you,
This
Dave.
is the infamous Naughty cover. You know the story behind that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I got this collection. All right, see if I can point it out. Right there. I see it.
I saw it because I know what I'm looking for.
Right. So it's right, like I said, it's right there, right in that center.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know it's stretching it.
yeah, that guy said that he did it, so
Yeah.
I'll agree. But I mean, aren't all like towers, phallic? Really?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one
I
was
have
particularly
a whole comic book long box still.
I mean, if you wanna see something, you should check out shiitake mushrooms. Then, I mean, those things, crazy.
It'll change your life.
Oh crap! My
Yeah,
God.
they will. Yeah, they will.
But yeah, what Dave's got there is a prime example of somebody who found a whole collection of something that was worth something and held on to it past the flipping point.
Can we all say Beanie Babies?
Yes.
Please
And the
no.
people who are going to retire on their Beanie Babies collections.
All of you guys are going to get one of these for Christmas. Okay?
Sweet.
All right. Yeah, excellent.
I actually still have a VHS. I still have 2 VHS players hooked up and blinking 12.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I had a buddy in high school that when Ren and Stimpy was first coming out, they recorded all the episodes on beta, and the reason was that nobody else had a beta, so nobody could borrow them. Just technology. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And beta is still the best way to watch anything, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the laser disc of video.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I have 2 players, 2 VHS players, and they're dual VHS DVD recorders, which is why I have Song of the South on DVD, because I had a friend who had the VHS tape. I'm like, bring that over. I got to do something with this.
In the collection that I got, the Song of the South on VHS was on it.
Oh wow!
I have that
might
too.
be worth something.
Yeah. But where am I going to sell that at? You know? You gotta
eBay.
be careful. You can't put it. eBay won't let you put it on eBay.
Really?
So
Oh, really? Uh-huh.
yeah, not right now.
It's it's contraband, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't know if it's contraband, but it's
I'm G.
Disney
Unless
reps
you
will be
figure out a way
knocking.
to smoke it, no.
You did not want to screw with the mouse. I mean, you gotta swap meet that stuff.
Yeah. I'm even afraid to bring it in. I'm even afraid to
We're
bring it
gonna see
in.
Dave getting swatted by the mouse team while we're on stream here.
They all
Knock on the door, come in and
couple
take it.
years on it.
Oh my god!
Patches. Well, this
I
is
like
my-
how attending a Popicon says I'm only 22, but the talk of VHS players makes me feel old.
Yeah, but you
Okay.
know, anytime you're watching any of those found footage type movies, it's like, you know, for the most part, it's supposed to be like a VHS tape, you know, and there's been a lot of people that have played with that medium, whether it's like filming on VHS tape still, and there's some like crazy stuff out there. I recommend you find a movie called Trash Humpers.
Oh, that's a Harmony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That guy makes some effed up movies.
Yeah, it puts a
Okay.
movie in my head that I don't want to see.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't really recommend seeing it, but if you want to like really get into those types of movies that exploit that kind of like concept, that's one that is.
It's a good gateway movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, if you want to slam it shut afterwards or keep going.
Yeah.
If you want to see the pinnacle of technology, my entertainment center has 3 shelves on it. I've got the Blu-ray player, I've got the aforementioned VHS DVD player, and under that I have the 8mm player.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an audio file right there.
Well, figure out a way to get Alien on one of those, okay?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I might have to sign up for this this Netflix thing. Do they still send the disc to your house and expect you to ship it back when you're done?
Yeah, I think they still do. I would recommend doing it so you can get another one.
Yeah.
Just to let you know,
what?
there's another Alien afterwards.
Yeah.
They just put an S on the
quite a
end.
few.
Okay, I'm making a note. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to run to Blockbuster right after this. Meeting.
Oh, Blockbuster. Okay, very good. Jeez.
Yeah, let me know how far you have to go to find one.
Oh, that'll be good. That's a good video. You should start recording it when you do it.
That's great.
In search of Blockbuster.
Make sure it's found footage though.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have what's his name? Harmony what?
Oh, Harmony Gold. Or no, that's the Harmony.
That's the animation.
What's his name? 'Cause he did
It's a K, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, Harmony. Oh, this is gonna bug me.
Was it?
Yeah, because
Harmony Korine?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
porn
Not the
actress?
kind of the
No,
8mm is
not-
not reel to reel. It's a cassette that we had
Oh,
a
I'm not interested then.
camera for.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously digital cameras you could find footage, you know, but that's less fun.
What's really sad is You remember the camcorders from the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Those are still obsolete, and they had the little cassette, that
Yeah,
you load
they
into the
told me
top. Yeah, and I mean those are obsolete now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
There's some good movies out there.
Yeah, and you know what kind of movies I'm talking about. So yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
Put it on the internet. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and we're still,
Hey, as soon as I can
and trying
find
to
some
buy those are
technology,
still not cheap. Those cameras are still a couple $100 on eBay. I know, I've gone through 2 of them.
Is Captain America in Fortnite? Is that a July 4th kind of celebration thing, or is it extended for all time then, or as long as they have the ability to do
No,
it?
it's got to be just before July. Because wasn't RoboCop was in Mortal Kombat? That's just a one-off thing for that particular Mortal Kombat game. I haven't
I
heard
gotta
about
admit,
the
I'm ignorant when it comes to Fort. I mean, I know things, but only because of what I've heard.
Fortnite
That's
is everybody
the first
running
time I
around
heard
their
about
nest.
Captain America in Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't.
Arcade?
There's very few things I want to do with so many other people, especially if they're not in the same room.
Yeah, it's
God.
much better in the same room.
Sorry, RJ.
No, that's great. You kind of left us all speechless there.
Yeah. When did this become a drinking stream?
Hey,
Holy
man.
cow.
Look, it's a small store. I only get one person at a time at best. I have to kill time. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Well, that's cool. So, Google that real quick, RJ. Is Captain America and Fortnite a one-off or what?
I
need
saw
a
the
computer to
Deadpool
do
ones.
that.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, don't risk it, man. We can't risk RJ's computer. Come on.
I
I
need
know,
a third
right?
computer to do this.
Have you figured out how to use your phone, though, RJ?
Yeah, I'm
things on
looking
your
at my phone.
Oh, that's your phone?
On your phone, that's right.
Oh, StreamYard allows that now, right?
Yeah, well, what I
Or
do is,
it enabled it.
I come in as a guest
I
because
see.
if I came in on my computer, then I'd be using that for the streaming, which is way more processing power than this ancient thing has. But if I come in as a guest, then it takes all the stress off of it. And it's still, you guys have seen I fight with this thing to keep it alive. But at least if it dies, the week before last, when we last met, this thing crashed and rebooted twice during the stream, and you guys didn't even know it.
Oh yeah, we didn't know it.
So we can just but other than me complaining about it, but if I was actually broadcasting through, it'd be like, oh, RJ's gone again. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's gone again. Oh, he's back.
So, guys, are you able to have like outdoor magic games or anything like that? I guess outdoor magic, it doesn't really work because of wind and stuff, but is there anything you can do to have like magic tournaments now?
So Wednesday night, I had the first time we had this last Wednesday of this week here. So today is Friday. So 2 days ago, we had a big D&D group in here. Well, we had 10. That's about what I can cap it off at. I had to make sure that everybody wore masks. We checked the temperature of everybody. So we did it. See, like currently, I'm in my game room right now, which is in the back of the shop. There's no ventilation back here, so I set up a table out in front after we closed down, where I have ceiling fans going, and everybody, followed the rules, and everybody was fine, and they were able to drink sodas and coffee, and so we gave it a trial shot, and it worked.
Yeah, now wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, right?
We had limited 8-player pre-release events for Court 21. Everybody had to have masks. We had everybody seated 6 feet apart from each other. Did the full wipe down and sanitization every hour. The times where like, guys, got to have your mask on. 'Cause in Ohio, you just have to. So I don't know.
I couldn't do 6 feet apart. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got seating on 120, and like we just had everybody spread out.
Yeah, you're huge, right?
Yeah, that's the best part is we like signed the lease there because of large events that we were having. PTQs, championship qualifiers, and then we get COVIDed, and like that's 7,000 square feet that I'm not going to have So, yeah, it's different. For sure.
You need those really expensive buy-ins.
Yeah.
No, they're not good cards. It's just $50 now.
I really did not want to do any gaming yet, but the guys on Wednesday night, have been with us from almost the day we opened, and they were begging me, and I said, all right, let's give it a shot, see how it works. And everybody, like I said, everybody was fine. That doesn't mean I'm going to open up the other nights for gaming. I still close at 6 o'clock. I'm 10 to 6 now. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't have space like Ryan. I mean, we're 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, so it's even less.
Yeah.
And we're all small business owners, and we get to know our guests. So it isn't like at your Kroger or whatever, you're walking through the line, you don't know who that person is. Like we've been to their weddings, or they know our kids. So if anybody gets sick on my watch, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night because of that.
Oh yeah, it'll be weighing on my head like crazy if that happened.
Yeah.
And then if I got sick, I'd be looking at every single one.
Oh yeah.
Too.
No, it's true. It's true that, a lot of our customers, I mean, I understand they want a game and it's their life and their life's been disrupted for the last few months here. And they just want to start feeling normal again by coming to our businesses and being part of it again. And being part of that was gaming for them. But at the same time, we as business owners, we have to really look at the big picture and go, okay, I know you want to do it, but we're just not at that point where we can do it, And that's the thing. I mean, I had another guy text me, he goes, are we going to start doing Godzilla, the Chrono Clash system? We've always played Godzilla card games every Friday night here. And I'm just like, we're just not there yet, So, I really didn't even want to start gaming until after the first year. But this group begged me, and I said, all right, let's just give it a trial and see. So,
So there's something I wanted to talk about, and I forgot about, and you've reminded me again. Not gaming, Godzilla, because you have a relationship to the franchise that I did not know about until this past week.
You didn't?
I had no clue.
I didn't know that you didn't know. Wow. Okay. Well, I back in the '90s, I worked for a toy company in St. Louis called Trendmasters, and we had the licensing for Godzilla. I was a prototype artist, and I was pretty much painted the whole 1998 Godzilla toy line for the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film, and did all the commercials for them as well. So if you go to YouTube, you look up Trendmaster commercials, Godzilla Trendmaster commercials. That's me underneath the table making a Godzilla do whatever. So when it fell apart because of the hot lights, I run it back, fix it, take it back out. So yeah, I remember the first day on the job, I had to sign a waiver saying that I would not discuss Godzilla, would not show anybody the pictures of Godzilla. Couldn't even tell my girlfriend, family, or anybody about Godzilla. So and I had to sign that. That's a waiver. So yeah, so when you guys ever see the old 1998 Godzilla toy line, that's me. So,
was that the Matthew Broderick one? Yeah. And I have there's a place in my heart for that movie because of that. Because I was there at the beginning. And you know what? Watch it again. It's goofy, but it actually is pretty damn good.
You know, should they have called it Godzilla? Probably not. But it still was a fun movie, and it's still fun. I like it. So yeah.
Guys, pack up all your Trendmasters Godzilla toys that you got on the wall, ship them to Dave for signature, and he'll ship them back to you. And
or I'll just keep them and not send them back to you. I'll be like that.
You can get a markup on them. But yeah, that's very cool. I'm going to YouTube that commercial now and look for him moving on the table.
I have signed them for people who bought them, brought them in loose, and I signed the underbelly of Godzilla. Yeah. So that was a long time ago though. It was back in the '90s. So, but yeah, I did that. I did the Lost in Space toy line, both classic and for the movie. Operation Bug, Voltron, you name it. I did it. The Trendmasters owned it. So yeah, at least in the late '90s.
Are the Voltron people still in St. Louis? I meant to talk to them a long time ago, and then they just kind of dropped off my radar. And
what do you mean the Voltron people?
wait, the people who had the license for Voltron.
No. Those guys are long gone.
Okay.
Yeah, Trendmasters, we had it, and the great thing about Trendmasters, or actually the stupid thing about Trendmasters, they didn't know when to sell, and they go, "Oh, we'll just hold on to it." Well, then at the end, when they were folding up, they made pennies on the dollar on it. I mean, you know, when Toho took back the licensing for Godzilla, that was a kick in the balls right there. That was the equivalent of Jeffy being kicked in the balls this week. So, yeah.
That's one of the few movies that has not come out yet that is being talked about that I'm actually looking forward to is the Godzilla versus King Kong or Kong versus Godzilla, whichever direction you're doing it.
It's so funny because everybody keeps asking me, well, what do you think about the fact that now it's been pushed back to 2021? And I'm like, for one thing, I don't own the rights to it, so it doesn't affect it in any shape, way, or form. But I think it's very smart because now with the whole COVID thing, they can really up a great marketing campaign on this. And I mean, what better thing to market destroying COVID than King Kong and Godzilla? You know? So, and they don't want to, and just like I don't have a problem with the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman 84 being pushed back the next year. Because, guys, I don't want to go to a theater and sit for 2.5 hours like this, okay? I'm one of the guys who likes to have a drink, take my flask in, eat my popcorn, okay? I like to get the whole experience. I don't want to be told I have to do this and that. I want to go back to just going to see a movie the way it's supposed to be. So that means I don't get to see anything until next year. I'm okay with it.
Did you hear that? I can't remember if it's this movie, but it's something like this movie. If it's not, Indiana Jones, one of those movies was like the #1 movie last week or the week before, and it's because you have all the drive-ins that are still around. They only have old ass movies. So some classic movie of like the 80s or 90s was the #1 movie.
And that's great. That is awesome because I think that we get so complacent that we forget how great those movies look on a big screen. You know, because we all own a 70-inch smart TV or whatever.
Well, that's true. I mean, your home entertainment system is better than dealing with a whole bunch of no good nicks at the movie theater.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that people are. I mean, look at what sold. What streaming services are all up right now.
Yeah.
Xbox and PlayStation are sold out everywhere. The cheapest one you can buy on eBay is like $500. I mean, your Wii's and all of that shit has gone through the roof because people are trying to figure out what to do now that everything's been disrupted. And one of the things is going to the movie theater. I don't think Hollywood's ever going to be the same. So.
I mean, all those spaces are out there that, I mean, let's say there's no movie theaters tomorrow. There's still going to be a big auditorium full of seats. So if people
Yeah.
start making movies, I think I know where we could start sitting people when they're ready to go.
But it'll
but-
take time.
Yeah, I mean, it's hitting hard, really bad, and full seasons of programs aren't getting shot for all the COVID reasons and everything. Michael,
Yeah.
Hey.
Can you see me?
hi.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
when
glad
I
we
say-
hung around. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Oh, doing fine. When I say give a reminder, I didn't mean like an hour before because I've been so busy all day long. I forgot all about it. I was working away, looked at my emails, like, holy, I forgot about something.
Well, you know
Been a
what? We're
crazy
gonna
week.
start all over from the beginning, okay?
Okay.
And
Yeah,
roll
right.
all lead,
Oh,
and you and RJ can talk.
Okay.
I told them that with your stores closed now, I expected you to show up half drunk with a Hawaiian shirt on.
In your underwear?
Well, we won't say anything about that part, but no.
I'm not
That's
telling.
why I always put
No,
my head down.
I'll
you
tell you
know,
what,
head
I'm
up.
about half worn out from all the work I've been doing, though. I'll tell you what, you closing down 2 stores and starting a new business doing mail order. Wow. That's been a lot of work. And I cannot believe how many people wanted to convert over to mail order. It's just incredible. I had no idea it'd be this many people. And there were even people who were saying, no, I got to shop around. 2 or 3 days later, they called me up. Yeah, put me down for mail order. I want you to start mailing my stuff. So
Yeah, they don't want to miss their stuff. It's, as much as they like the communal experience of going to the comic shop and browsing,
mhm.
you can't find one for 3 weeks. You've missed out on some stuff.
Yeah.
So, Michael, when you're doing all, I mean, are you still getting new books in and stuff?
Well, fun and games with Diamond Comics. The UCS. Yeah,
You missed
UCS.
it earlier.
Yeah. UCS, that was no problem changing my address. Diamond, however, still hasn't gotten it changed. Called them 3 weeks ago, and I'm making notes of people's name. And I say, oh, this person tells me, okay, well, I'm going to get you taken care of. We'll get you changed. Called up last week. All right, I want to confirm this address has been changed, right? Like, no, we haven't gotten any requests from you. Like, look, I was told by so-and-so, they're like, we don't even have anybody here working here by that name, according to them.
Oh my God.
One way to
Well,
get
that
out of
may
work,
be the
give it.
case.
Yeah, give a fake name. You don't have to do the job. And so this person says, okay, I'm going to get you taken care of.
Yeah.
This week comes along. Well, I'm emailing my Diamond rep because you can't get a hold of anybody. You can't call anybody. You can't get nobody, they don't even return calls right now, I don't think. And said, I want to confirm my address has been changed for my shipment next week. I get a call from the rep I talked the week before. She's like, oh, no, you haven't told anybody. And then I start telling her again. She's like, I do remember you. And she'd send it in. She says, okay, this time I'm going to call it in so that department won't be able to deny that they've been told. So still not changed. My books are coming. Who knows where next week? I'm going to have to go chasing them around.
You didn't talk to the president of the company last week, did you?
No,
Because
I
he's
haven't
not
talked
there.
to Steve. Oh, he's not?
Hey, Michael.
Oh, you're talking about the old president. Yeah. Maybe that's
Hey,
a good
Michael,
thing. Yeah.
I got Jesse on the line. He wants to talk with you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Whatever you want to say to him right now.
Well, I'm hoping that him being back is going to make a difference. But wow, they need to make some changes. I mean, it's crazy.
How fast
I mean,
do they?
people.
I mean, they need to make changes like yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean a year ago. Oh, I mean 10 years ago, whatever.
Yeah,
But they
that's why we're
needed
the
to do
state we
something
are.
a while ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm on my 3rd request. Please change my address. Send me my books to the right address. And they're like, oh, what? Who did you talk to?
Yeah.
I mean, giving you a name that isn't even valid. I mean, come on. And
Yeah.
so it's pretty frustrating dealing with Diamond right now. It really is. I mean, they used to be the best too. Now I've been around a lot longer than everybody else here. And I remember I started out with Pacific. Saw them going bad, jumped to Capital. Saw them going bad, then jumped to Diamond. Well, before I jumped to Diamond, I was hearing stories about how good Diamond was. And I mean, back in the early days, Steve actually flew all of his customers at his expense out to Vegas for a conference. Wow, where's my plane ticket? So he doesn't do that anymore because he's got all the retailers now. But I mean, he used to be ahead of the game on everybody, better than everybody else. And, that has changed over the years.
Michael, I'm so glad you showed up because now that we've got 5 people in here, our screens are shrunk down to just the right level that the borders work. I knew those borders would work. I just needed more people.
Well, sorry, I've been just scrambling, multitasking all day, doing things with the stores, doing things with my stuff, doing things at the house. I got to reading that. Decided to catch up on my emails. I got to reading about a proposed ordinance to require people with face masks, which I'm not in favor of that. I mean, if people want to wear them, that's fine. But I'd hate to mandate that you cannot go out in public without a mask on. I mean, we are living in a bizarre world, aren't we? As a retailer, have you ever think masked people would come into your store and hand you money?
Yeah, exactly. You know, we have it so it's mandated pretty much. I mean, there's still pockets of places, but overall in California, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we're all going to play the same game, I guess but they don't have any real enforcing of it other than people shaming people, you know?
I can walk into Walmart without the mask. And you know, half the time I'm like, you know, I don't like wearing this mask. It's really uncomfortable. I'm breathing. I can't see because it fogs up my glasses.
It sure does.
But at the same time, you know, I started thinking, you know, there's a sign on the front of the door where, for health and hygiene reasons, for years now, we've said no shoes, no shirt, no service. If there's a hygiene reason at the time where they require another item of clothing to be worn, granted, it's not an item of clothing that we would normally wear every day, like shoes and shirt, assuming you're, you know, not in Margaritaville.
I've been reading way too much Japanese stuff over the years. I've been looking for an excuse to have my face half covered up with like crazy animation on it and stuff. This is my dream come true finally.
I went into a Walmart today.
Play Fortnite in real life now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I went to Walmart today. It's the first time I've had a chance to go to the grocery store in a couple of weeks, and it amazed me about 80% or more people were wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I don't have one. I guess I'll try to buy one while I'm here. Never saw one for sale anywhere. I get up to the counter, think, okay, surely this is going to be a point of sale item. Nothing anywhere. And I told the lady I was ringing me up and said, why don't you guys have these things, you know, available to buy? I don't even know where to go to buy one. I guess I have to buy it on Amazon. Hey, they're loving that.
You can stop by Cosmic Comics, right?
Right. I have a box of them I hand out to people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've got, you know, I'm sure Uline's got to be doing it by now, right? You know, whatever company you get your bags from, I mean, and stuff, you know.
Well, you know, I'm seeing people now with, like, I think they made them themselves, and there's people who are making them and selling them on Etsy and stuff out of patterned fabrics. Because I've seen, you know, the bat symbol on some of them and the Superman symbol. Sometimes
Close
just
up.
one symbol. Sometimes, you know, a pattern. Yeah, just like that. Exactly.
Yeah, is that a John Byrne Hulk?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Damn right.
Nice.
But you know, I still haven't seen Venom and Joker grins. That, you know, I would think graffiti would have been all over that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, Erica Slaw from Something's Killing Children would be awesome.
Oh, you know what? You're right. How can that? They got to get that out there now. I mean, those small companies, you got to strike on that iron.
So, a lot of them are, you know, I mean, it's great. If you're on Facebook, you'll see them like show up for one day, and you better order them that day because they'll be pulled down the next day by, you know, like you'll see like a Queen one that has like Queen on there, the band, and then the next day it'll be gone. You know? Or
yeah, well, you know,
you can't do that. So
if you're worried about,
here remember?
Oh no, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Mine was.
Does anybody here remember Pogs?
Oh yeah.
Hey, they were
one of those fads that came and went really fast.
Wait, that was Michael, I bet, huh?
What's that?
Oh, I'm joking. There was Pogs talk earlier in the show.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
Oh, in the comment section.
Weren't those a little coin?
Yeah,
like, it's just funny how fads will come and just blaze out real fast. I mean, it's it's the same thing. You know, all of a sudden you're gonna see all these people making masks about the time there's no demand for them anymore.
I don't know. Yeah. This might be a way. I could see this going on for a while. I mean, it's kind of like a common thing in, you know, like in China, right? Of course, their air quality is supposed to be pretty bad, but I come from a city where the air quality is pretty bad, and I don't know. I mean, if there isn't an inoculation and people still keep getting sick, in the very least, I could see it going for a while. And I mean, hey, it might be the fashion trend. I mean, a beehive hairdo, really, but it happened.
And hey, for
Hula hoop.
us outfitters, I mean, Stu and I have been talking about getting our mask made with our logo on it. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I'm getting people crapping all over me for not doing the same thing. I'm like, God, but I probably
We haven't
should.
done it yet. It's expensive right now, so we're trying to find somebody who can do it. But I mean, it's so different than a hat or a T-shirt. And now,
Have you?
I mean, this could be part of it.
All right, so there's a 5-hour teas, I think is what they're called, or something like that. 1 hour tea, and they do T-shirts for all sorts of people. Doesn't matter who they are, and they also have masks that they're making, and I think they're the cheapest mass quantity substitute or alternative for people, or so 1 hour teas is what they're called. And you might want to check that one out, or anybody else out there. I'm not getting paid from them for that. I don't have a deal with them, so
I'd like to do that.
They might make stickers too. I have no idea.
I'd love to put my logo on a mask like that, but
yeah.
what I want to do is I want to get
right in the pie hole.
I want to get a digital fabric printer and take a picture of my face in there, and then cut the bottom half of it off, and just put the bottom half of my face on my mask.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about that. I wasn't sure if it was just you.
Yeah,
you could have like
when somebody says, "Hey, put your mask on," I pull it down and say it's on.
What you might do is, like, if you're a kind of person that doesn't have a beard, you could have a beard version of yourself.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Or you, Michael, without the mustache, and then when you pull it off, you have the mustache. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Very,
it could be a real beard. It doesn't have to be printed.
You
can have like a ZZ Top mask.
Beard. You gotta have the beard.
That's right.
There you go.
So, Michael, have you done your first mail order shipments yet, or are you? Still
yeah. I've already sent out a bunch. I was working on more today. People still keep calling me, say I need to get in on that. And of course, inevitably, you get the email from the guy. Go, well, where am I supposed to go pick up my books? I'm like, remember me telling you about how I was going to be closing the stores, and you didn't want to go to mail order, So, yeah, those are fun conversations. So I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of those over the next month. But like I say, so many people said, yeah, I want to do the mail order thing. I had no idea it'd be that many. I maybe should have done this a long time ago. So if you guys are having any trouble out there at your locations, you may want to consider that as an option, because, I mean, everybody really went for this in a big way that I did not think was going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, do you have any Negan lids left over?
I've still got plenty of single copies, yeah. Now, the gold and silver, those I put those on eBay and made a bundle on those.
Oh, really?
Oh,
All
yeah.
Right.
Those did well. I mean,
All
did you guys...
I got Negan lids. I got screwed on it, so.
I didn't quite catch all that.
Do you need the individuals? I mean, I'm sure one of us can accommodate you with the regular covers.
I ordered 25 and I only got 5.
Yeah.
Diamond.
So, yeah. So I would love to get some more, but I wasn't able to fulfill what everybody wanted. So if you guys got some extras, I'll buy them from you guys, and yeah. So you help me out. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, as I've said, as I've been with Diamond, I have to say this was the first week that I had a shipment with no shortages. I couldn't believe it. I had other stores that didn't have many. I was like, now they do this? So,
well, wait a second. This was a week that nobody was shipping anything.
Well, that's true, too. But, I mean, even on those weeks, sometimes those are the worst weeks. Those are the weeks I have 25% shortages. Nothing hardly ships, and you get even less of that. I mean, it didn't ever seem to matter what the size of the shipment was or how bad it was. This week was actually a good week. So, I'll give credit where credit's due. They got one right.
So Michael, are you going to advertise nationally or globally that you're doing mail order now? I mean, with this kind of market, you can go definitely beyond your Little Rock customers.
Well, that's really, I could, but I don't know that I will. I'm going to kind of keep this kind of a private service there. I mean, I'm not necessarily private, but I'll advertise on my website. But it's not something I'm going to go out looking for customers, because I'm not doing this just to sell comics. I'm doing this to have time to work on my creative endeavors. And so there's a limit to how much time I want to get locked into, packaging up shipments every day. And I still want to do my creative stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you don't end up being Peter Samedi, who's boxing comics 7 days a week on live stream.
I was on one of these conversations where he was boxing up comics as we were talking. You could hear the tape snacking there.
Yep. All right, well, guys, I've run out of topics. If you guys, Michael wants some Cosmic Comic. Michael Bowling wants some Cosmic Comic Underoos. So if you're getting masks printed up, go ahead and get the rest of it done. Man, Underoos, Michael, you just dated yourself there, man.
I know. I actually got some Underoos in, and I decided to wear them all myself. So, yeah.
Let me
I wanted those so bad when I was a kid.
Before we go, let me throw two thoughts out here. I don't know if you've already talked about this or not, but it's kind of the flip sides of Marvel schizophrenia. One thing is, like, I'm calling up about certain books that customers think have already come out and being told, like Ironheart 2, Ironheart 2022 has been delayed till March of next year. So in some respects, it sounds like Marvel's just forgetting about the comic industry and forgetting about print. Then I see an article today about how they are finally picking up some new licenses. Now it's like Aliens and Terminator and things like that, which Dark Horse hasn't done much with it for a long time. I'm sure Marvel will do a better job. But so here they're picking up licenses, which I think they should have done a long time ago. They picked up Conan, and I guess they've done pretty well with that. And so I guess we're waiting for the Mary Jane Predator crossover. But it's just you get such mixed signals from Marvel. I'm just not sure what they're doing yet. Have you guys talked about that, Eddie?
Yeah, we did a little bit. What do you think of it?
What happens you show late?
Well, all right. So you think it's good that they picked those up? I mean, Dark Horse. Dark Horse still has been doing those titles. It's just they haven't really. There was a short time when they tied in with the movies that they did pretty well, and then afterwards, it's been okay. But Marvel, what we were joking about was that Marvel would bring those things into the Marvel universe, so you could see like Spider-Man hang out with aliens or something like that. What do you think about that?
Well, I wasn't really popular about Conan the Barbarian joining the Avengers, but that's the Marvel Universe way of doing it. I'm glad to see them picking up properties, because remember back in the 90s, they took a stance of no licensed material. They won't do anything licensed anymore. And I think that really hurt them as a company. So in a way, I'm glad to see them bringing it back. And that gives me hope that maybe they aren't completely abandoning print. So that's the good news of it. The bad news of it is, why are they delaying some books until next year? I mean, so it's real mixed signals, very schizophrenic.
Yeah, and they don't really have any of their main titles coming out until next year.
I know, exactly.
Like the X-Men stuff will be like tied in with that big event, but other than that, there's not going to be really X-Men comic books coming out. And and
Marvel's
Marvel's
lackadaisical publishing schedule is why I finally said, why do I want to keep paying all the expenses of two retail outlets when you hit your number one supplier who says, we're not going to make anything for about a year. Have fun losing money for a while.
Yeah, and
it's kind of tough to do.
If Marvel, not Marvel, if Diamond was perfect, they still wouldn't have a lot of Marvel to sell,
But it should be nice to get your whole order on a regular basis.
Well, that too.
And be able to do a change of address. Simple stuff that shouldn't be any big deal.
Yeah.
I have seen promo art that showed a Predator holding an Iron Man helmet that had been ripped off. So
I saw that. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Didn't Disney and Marvel reacquire Ron the Space Knight back?
No, I don't believe so.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, did you hear that, Mike?
No, I haven't heard that. No.
Okay. Somebody, I forget. No, it was the toy company. The toy company acquired the rights back to ROM. So it's was it?
I always thought it was Mattel or something like that.
Yeah, Mattel, yeah. So they got the rights back, which should work in favor of Disney anyway. So that would be awesome if you could do ROM fighting aliens, and predators, and that kind of thing. Because that would make more sense to me
And
than
Conan.
Hey, you know what?
Conan. Well,
The big brain people at Marvel right now, I'm sure they're thinking this because it'll sell like hotcakes. But the entire end of Empire with the Krees and the Skrulls is going to finally be, they unite because they have to face off against the Brood and the Chitauri and the aliens and the dire wraiths.
There you go. And then Galactus will get them all, right?
Galactus gets them all, and we reboot the entire universe.
And Fantastic Four saves the day.
Licensing can be good, but I liked what IDW has always done with their licenses because they really, they get the license and then they get freaking creative with it in ways you don't expect. Like when they had the Star Trek license, and maybe they still have the Star Trek license.
Yeah, they do.
Some of the best Star Trek that I've read was when they decided to cross it over with other companies' productions. And we had Star Trek and Green Lantern, the whole spectrum more. And then we had Star Trek, Green Lantern, Stranger Worlds. I love both of those. I even like the Star Trek Legion of Superheroes thing that they did. And I don't know how those sold for you guys, but I didn't miss an issue of them. And I've gotten to the point where I can take or leave an issue.
Mediocre sales.
I don't really care.
IDW has been losing their shirt publishing, though.
Yeah, they have lately. And there's been different videos about what they've been doing, and I know there's a guy who does some very in-depth analysis every quarter of their financial reports, and has been predicting their demise for a very long time. But they're still here, just hanging on by a shoestring, I guess. But somebody's propping them up.
Well, they are doing good books. So I'm not going to argue that for a minute, but it shows you the weakness of the industry, where you can have a good publisher doing good work, and there's just not enough of us out there left anymore. I mean, and there's a reason why we're just been crushed by the system, and can't get fulfillment properly, and just everything's just been crushing us and just driving us into the ground. I mean, just the margins get thinner, all expenses go up, wages go up all the time, credit card fees go up like a couple times a year. I mean, used to when I started in business in the 80s, if you had a 2% profit margin, you were considered to be doing pretty good. Now you're paying more than that just to the credit cards to accept them as a form of payment. I mean, it's like you're working for them, and they take all the money, the gravy right off the top. And it's like every machine it passes through, they take a percentage of your sale. And I mean, it's almost like you got the mob handling your money for you, and everybody's got to get their beak wet that it passes through. I mean, it just so we're getting hit for so many different directions. It's a killer. And then if you can't get your books on a reliable basis, that erodes your customer base. And like I say, our expenses, they just keep getting higher all the time.
Oh, we lost Ryan.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Talk about credit card fees.
Oh no, my head.
Yeah.
Well, now I've got to take the banner down because it doesn't fit anymore.
That's right.
That's why the business had to start doing things like Funko Pops and Magic cards. You couldn't be a comic book shop anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all those different lines. And sometimes they'll do real well for you. Well, I remember when Pokemon was like the monster back around 2000. And then Wizards of the Coast, they were huge. And then Wizards of the Coast comes along and says, we've decided that if you want to sell or buy product from us, here's how you're going to run your store. You must clear out like a huge section of your retail space, put empty chairs and tables, make it into a recreational center where people can just walk in off the street and play games all day. Don't even have to buy anything from you. And that's the only way we'll sell you is if you change the way you do business this way. It's like, I'll just buy my stuff from somebody else. I'll get it later, pay more, but you're not changing how I want to do my business. And I mean, that's just the kind of stuff we have to deal with all the time. The predatory, vendors and suppliers. I mean, it's, really the retailers should have, we should have gotten an organization that would have had some teeth a long time ago. I was, big on the whole opening of Comics Pro and getting that one started. And I bailed out of there quite a long time ago, right about the time one of the treasurers got arrested by the FBI for embezzlement and things like that. There were just a lot of things not going right with that group, and I've never been a member since. So, but even they're just so much of a rubber stamp for the publishers. I don't think they're doing anything. I mean, have you heard them taking a stance on any of this thing? I mean, I haven't.
I have not, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have retailers join together for this kind of conversation. And if other people who want in, by the way, I just got notification 2 days ago from StreamYard, who is the software that we're using here, that they have upped their level
Up
to
to
where
10.
now we can have 10 people on the
10
stream
people.
instead of the 5.
That won't be confusing at all.
No, not at all. You'd actually have to make me start moderating and say, "Let's start up here. You go now. You go."
Yeah,
You're gonna have
You're going to have to get a mute button.
right.
Oh, he can mute
I
us. Oh, he can mute
all
us.
of you. But,
We've got such a great industry. We got such a great industry, such a great product, passionate fans, passionate retailers and vendors. There's just no reason we should be in the straits we are. I mean, yeah, we're facing a pandemic, which is unprecedented, but what's happening to help you guys? I mean, have you gotten it? Marvel gave us some rebates, and that was a big help. That's pretty much it. Have you seen anything been made returnable yet?
I didn't get shit from Marvel.
Well, I got some rebates when they started Diamond started back up. I got some rebates from Marvel. Of course, then Diamond said, "Oh, well, you had unusually high shipment that last week," which I didn't, and they took most of it for shipping charges because they don't tell you how the shipping charges break down. I mean, it's crazy. But no, I got rebates from Marvel.
Wow, I didn't. Did you?
No, not that I've seen. I know that the thing was that DC Comics needed to be returned to the vendor that you got them from. So you're going to have to deal with Diamond, and all you're doing is getting credit for more DC Comics, right? But Diamond isn't dealing with Diamond. I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, obviously they're going to have their backlog of things, but and I don't remember the Marvel rebate, but we hadn't been open for like a long time. So I don't know if that was something that I could still take advantage of or something, but we did pretty well with, we did well with like getting like our other stuff together when it came to like, the PPP and things, but some of the comic book things don't always register. Unfortunately, I got to admit it was real hectic during that time.
Yeah, Michael, we might have to get back to an industry level where you start ripping covers off of books and sending them back to the distributor. And these younger comic book retailers are going to have heart attacks doing this. Like, I know I've got 100 copies of this book, but I can't bear to rip the cover off.
Oh, I know. It's a difficult thing to do if you're so used to preserving and protecting the books. All of a sudden, be mutilating them. It just goes against your nature. But when you go and look at how much money you've got in those books, and it's like I ordered so light for when things restarted. I started back up. I thought, these aren't going to be enough books to get me through Wednesday, and I've still got most of them. The people just were not coming back. I mean, or they're coming back in a trickle because the industry hasn't done anything really to get them back in to let people know, hey, we're back, we're doing books again. And that's one of the things that's always hurt our industry as a whole was they do no national advertising. I remember I was always on to Marvel and DC. Guys, why don't you got a great product. You got people making movies out of your product. Why don't you have national ads? And I was always told, well, we don't have the money for it. We're just $1 billion industry. We don't have any money for national advertising. That's up to you retailers to do that. But then when they wanted to make digital comics, all of a sudden they had money for national advertising. Well, what happened was, they got pulled when they got rid of the Comics Code Authority. They got pulled out of all the grocery stores, all the 7-Elevens, because they were selling mature comics on racks that said, "Hey, kids comics." People were buying stuff that wasn't appropriate for kids, complaining, and they got yanked out of everywhere. And so people just thought comics weren't made anymore. Well, they started advertising the digital comics, and people said, "Wow, I don't want digital, but they make comics. I'll go find a place to buy them." So here, Marvel DC thought all of us would collapse like a chain of Tower Records when music went digital. But what happened was our sales increased. So we're trying to drive you guys out of business, and you're getting stronger. They just couldn't understand it. But it was the national advertising. And until we get that from Marvel and DC, we're going to be a small industry forever. I mean, we should just be doing so much better. The interest in the product's better than it's ever been, but there's just no visibility out there for what we sell.
and we've said this before that Marvel just did 14 hours of advertising for books that they don't sell.
Oh, really?
Well, with all the movies, you think about all the money they put into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Those
Now,
were
remember
advertisements for comic books that were no longer part of their
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah, I remember when you had Axel Alonso as the editor of Marvel, and he was doing that social justice warrior thing. And I had a customer come in and said, "Man, I've been watching all these Marvel movies. I want to start buying Marvel comics." And then he's like, "Well, what do you mean Wolverine's a little girl?" "Okay, well, give me Iron Man." "What do you mean he's a little black girl?" "Okay, well, give me Hulk." "What do you mean it's a She-Hulk now?" "Well, give me Hawkeye. That's a girl." Well, and it just went on and on and on. And this guy's like, "You're punking me. You cannot be serious that they're not making a single one of the characters, that are in the movies, and I can't buy any of them." And he turned around, didn't buy a thing, and walked out the store. I mean, it just they have no connection that is trying to help us sell books.
Yeah, it's the only person I've ever known since the death of Julia Schwartz who knows how to make comic books and everything related to the comic books interconnect and work has been Jeff Johns. And I think his work on Stargirl right now is definitive of that. Dave, I know you've been watching Stargirl. Michael, have you seen any of the Stargirl episodes?
No, I gotta admit I haven't.
I was going to try to watch the premiere, but that my DVR went out.
Go to the CW.
Why are you laughing, Yule?
I'm laughing because I was giving him such a hard time about that Alien. But I was going to say, well, now I know why he hasn't seen Alien. He's watching Stargirl.
Oh yeah, well, I'm going out to Tower Records now, and I can buy a copy of Alien.
That's right.
Stargirl is so well done. Jeff Johns got his hands in all of it. It's the reason why it works, because what's been happening with CW is like shows like Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. It's gotten too heavy-handed politically and socially. And Stargirl is just fun. It's for the whole family. It doesn't punch political stuff in your face. It's just good, wholesome, fun comic book, nods and winks to the Justice Society of America. I mean, it's good show. And Jeff Johns got his hand all over it. So it's not going to get out of sync and get fucked up.
And every character looks like the comic book character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Owlman, Wildcat.
Yeah, but looks like a kid version of Wildcat. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but the original Wildcat was in the opening episode. Before the JSA was destroyed by the Injustice Society. We're obviously getting this legacy version coming up now, but.
So they did a great job. I swear to God, it doesn't get screwed up. All my customers, when they come in, we geek out and talk about it. It was so well put together, so well acted. Good stories that have that kind of moral thing at the end, like the old superhero shows used to have. Like at the end of the Hulk or Spider-Man or whatever, you get your little, even the old Shazam Saturday morning TV shows where you get that moral thing. Of course, Stargirl isn't sitting there at the end telling you about the moral of the story, but you get the gist of what the moral is. So, yeah.
Now, I will have to say that, going back to what I said about the Marvel movies, it's a great television show. It's a great advertisement for a comic book they're not making.
You're right.
That's the support we get. Yeah, none.
And we were talking about Firepower in the trade paperback. Well, Supergirl came out in trade paperback, or not Supergirl. Stargirl came out in trade paperback, and I sold the first one right away because of the show. Then I got a second one in, and it's on my shelf right now. So I'm not moving the second one as quickly, but like Firepower, they at least coincided with each other. So, but you're right. It's no different than Batwoman. There's no Batwoman comic book that's coming out. There's no Legends of Tomorrow comic book, when that came out. So the only ones that were Supergirl And The Flash, and to tell you the truth, those shows have not spiked sales. Flash has always just had its own core audience, like Supergirl has.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they keep missing the boat. I mean, I remember when X-Men was the #1 movie, and the #1 comic that year, Transformers.
yeah. So neither DC or Marvel know how to flip it. And now the one thing that Marvel has done, but it all got screwed up over COVID, is the Black Widow comic. It was supposed to come out in conjunction with the film, and everything got screwed up. So
It sure
they were finally
did.
doing something like that, but that doesn't mean anything now. So, but yeah.
Well, they'll probably hold back on the trade paperback then for the movie to come out, so then they can at least time that correctly.
Right.
One of the things I always see people saying is that they wanted to promote comics. They should be selling these comics in the movie theater lobbies when the movie is out. Any thoughts on that?
I've been invited to do that. I've been invited by many theaters to come and set up a kiosk when they're doing the premiere, and I'm like, that's a lot of flipping work. I already stretched myself too thin as it is, so I would either, my wife and I would have to do it, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but it's just a lot of work. I've been down that road before doing the convention circuit, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't do comic book shows anymore. It's just too much work. Yeah.
Well, plus if you're in a movie theater, you're dealing with people who are non-collectors. They don't know anything about handling, and all the damaged merchandise you'd have to eat. It'd just be incredible. And that's one thing. I actually had a customer come into the store one time and got angry when he was, after he read a couple of books, like, hey, you can't read the books in the store. And he walked out the store griping about, well, I think it's a terrible shame when you can't even go to a bookstore and read the books. We're not a library. People they have no respect for us, and we don't get to return them. All of a sudden, they made it to use merchandise, and you paid for them to read that book. I mean, of course, the thing that really grabs
you. The other day, they were sitting there reading in my coffee lounge, and I go, guys, I would really prefer you didn't read my books, but buy them and then read them.
Yeah, the retort that makes me angriest is the guy who says, well, how do I know if I want to buy a book until after I read it? Have you ever seen anybody read a book in the store and then buy it? It doesn't happen that way.
Go to
a library.
Not Borders, but who's a bookstore? Borders. Is it Borders? Go to Borders.
The big chains, they'll let people read a book in the store because they're going to sell them a $7 cup of coffee while they're doing it, and then they'll send the book back to the publisher and make the publisher be the one to eat it. So they're not out the money. We aren't operating on those terms. Somebody comes in and they're damaging up and clamping on a book and reading it and then toss it on the shelf and nobody else wants to buy it. That's money out of your pocket. I mean, it's just like you're being mugged in the street almost.
Right.
It's true. I want anybody that listens to this afterwards also. That's a true statement there.
It is. I mean, it's just like shoplifting. It's shrinkage. You can't. You're paying for that.
Right.
The retailer is paying for that.
The thing is Barnes and Noble and Borders were allowed to return books and comic books, and in some instances they actually had specialty covers made with their stores in mind, and they're still allowed to return those books, but comic stores are not allowed to.
No.
And when Barnes and Noble's not around, because they're probably going to fail before the last comic store fails, that it's only going to be the comic store and, of course, online or however else you want to sell that, in that other aspect, digitally or whatnot. It's only going to be comic stores in the end to push that merchandise. And they never gave us the same consideration that they gave those bigger chains.
No. Have you guys heard of Hastings? A chain called Hastings?
Mm-hmm.
They were big down here where I'm at. At one point, every manager in a 200-mile radius called me up and asked me to come teach them how to retail comics. The closest one, he was the most arrogant. He called me up and says, I was driving by your store the other day and saw a lot of cars out front. And I was thinking those cars should be in front of my store. So why don't you come on down and teach us how to retail comics? I'm like, dude, either you're an idiot or you think I'm an idiot or both. I mean, I'm going to teach you how to take my customers away for free? No, it's not going to happen. Well, they got out of comics for a while because they lost their shirt the first time. Well, they got back in it again in a big way Well, they were being able to do returns. Well, finally, Marvel and the other guys just realized they were not making any money off these jokers. So they put them on the same terms that you and I have to operate on. Within 6 months, the entire chain went bankrupt. They couldn't do business on the terms we have to do it. They couldn't survive.
Right.
Yeah, I was just talking with a customer earlier today, and it was cool. I actually was talking to two of them, but he had his son with him, and I bought some Pokemon cards from his son, and I go, so why are you selling them? And he's like, I'm not interested anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, and I go, what do you want for him? He goes, well, whatever. And so I gave him a good deal. I didn't rip him off, and because I'm trying to be very cool with people when I buy collections of anything. But I also have to be a business person at the same time. Don't give away the farm. So he was happy. I was happy. I know that I'll be able to double my money on that. But then his dad just sat there, and I think his dad was trying to teach him a little lesson about business and how business works. So the dad just kept asking questions about me and the business and how the industry is compared to when he was a kid and so on. And I just really thought it was cool because I had this opportunity to talk to him, but at the same time teaching his son a little something about business. There are people out there who are so interested in the survival of all of us, whether it's Michael or you or myself or just anybody. We are the small business owner. We're really the pulse of America. And I always cringe when somebody comes in and goes, yeah, last week I spent all my money at Target. I'm like, what are you doing at Target, man? Stop feeding the monster. The monster won't keep feeding it.
I had this one family that would come in with several young boys, and they would work me to death and never buy anything.
Yeah.
And then finally one time the dad goes, my kids really love your store. That way they know what to buy online.
Yeah, true.
The help stopped at that point. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not running labs for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so true. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I started getting into Baby Yoda, right? And that fucking Baby Yoda thing. And thank God I have sold a lot of them. But I'm like looking, Sue and I are like looking at my retail on it. And I'm like, how can I do this? I go on Amazon and you get it so much cheaper with free shipping. I'm like, I'm getting fucked here,
They're like Funko Pops. I mean, after you pay the diamond shipping, there's like a 30-cent margin.
Yeah.
But you can't, it's not worth it. Now I have people come in and get indignant, like, well, how come you don't have a selection like that? Like, there's no profit to be made. I have to, if I don't sell one, I've lost money on them. I mean, there's no reason for me to carry them.
For Marvel Legends, I won't even carry them anymore because I pay $17 for them and I'm supposed to sell them at $20. What kind of fucking markup is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get a case of 12, and the only one that people want to buy is the Chase figure that they didn't put out at Walmart because somebody works there knows to grab that. And you can't buy 12 and sell one. It's just the math isn't there anymore. I mean, everything's just so adverse for retailers right now. It's just unreal.
Oh, it's terrible. I got a whole face there full of pops because, and we were talking earlier, Mike, before you came on about EE Entertainment, okay? And they have acquired DC now as far as toys go. And I talked to them and I said, you guys cannot force me to buy a case of one Superman figure. I don't need a case. I said I was able to go through Diamond and buy one or two, whatever I wanted. And he goes, okay. He goes, you need to send me an email so I can take that to the president because we're going to have to change the way we do business. I said, yes, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
If you do change the way you do business, you'll increase your business. Because, unless I can share it with you guys, none of us are going to buy a case of one figure, right? So
other day I got in a Godzilla Monopoly game for a customer that was special ordered. Diamond ships in this giant box by itself, and the margin was so low, and I figured it probably cost me $3 to sell that.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Now here's the bitch.
Wait. Guys, I have to take off because I got to go home. I'll see you later. Email me about Yeah, take it easy, guys, and I can help you out with Negan if you can't get him elsewhere. Just tweet me. We'll talk.
Will do.
Bye,
Thank you all.
guys. Peace.
All right, love you. So what's happened is the game is going to have to change big time for these toys distributing alone, because like I said, we can't go into cases of shit anymore. And I told that to EE, and I think it's gonna take time. But I mean, because if not, they're gonna find out they're not gonna move DC collectibles that much.
Yeah,
you know,
they're crushing the retailer market. I mean, retailer stores all around the country are failing all over the place. People who've been doing it a long time like me are just like, there's no point to keep after it. I mean, how many long-term stores have just shut the brick and mortars? A lot of them just walked away from the industry completely. I'm still in it, but I'm doing it differently, where I don't have that exposure to what these guys are doing. I'm limiting how much they can hurt me now, because I'm just not going to take the losses anymore.
Are you even going to do toys anymore, Michael?
Nope, I'm done. There's no profit margin in it. I mean, when I had the stores, I would carry the special orders for people who requested to be full service. It's kind of like supplies. Everybody was shocked because I ran out of my last supply order real quick my last week. I didn't have anything. Everybody was coming in like, man, we're paying 3 times what you were charging us. Get this stuff. Well, I hadn't raised my prices in like 20 years. The cost kept going up. I was like selling at cost at the end there. And the only reason I kept the price that low was because I was buying them by the semi-truck load and getting them trucked in. Well, I've lost 5,500 square feet of storage, so I can't get a big semi-truck load of supplies anymore. So I can't give them those prices anymore. And they were like, you were selling us boxes for $5, and we had to buy them $15 online plus shipping. People just didn't realize how a good deal they had. But that's just what we're having to deal with as retailers, and I'm just not going to take the losses anymore. I mean, I did it as a customer service, but it's like with the toys like that. Any toys I sold that I got in customers, I probably lost money on. I just did it to give a full service to a customer. And the margins are not there for retailers. So I'm just not going to be, I've done this too long. I'm just not going to put myself to being a victim by Marvel, DC, and the distributors. I wish there had been multiple distributors a long time ago. I think Diamond probably will rebound. Steve Jeffy's a smart guy. He's a good businessman. I think he stepped away for a while. I think he's regretting it now. And hopefully he'll get things turned around. But, my God, if you can't even change your address of delivery, 3 weeks of trying. Oh, we're going to send it to your old address. It's an empty building now. Good luck chasing it down.
Jeffy I think he's gotten kicked in both nuts really bad this week because their gaming alliance, which is their sister company for games, just lost Asmodee. Asmodee pulled away and said, "Screw you. We're going to distribute it ourselves." That's a big kick in the other nut. So we'll see what Steve's going to do. Steve Jeffy's going to do, but with his announcement that he's taking everything back over, it may be too late. I don't know.
It may be. Yeah, I mean, it really degraded bad. And the whole closing everything down, that was one of the worst business decisions I think anybody's ever made. I mean, I understood why he made it. He was kind of in a vice. You had all these retailers that said, we're just not going to pay that last invoice. Had all the publishers say, well, we want our money anyway. And you had Steve stuck in the middle, and he was just getting the crunch. I mean, he was getting it from both sides. So he had the easy decision, was like, well, fine. Everybody wants to shut down. It's shut down. And that limited his losses. So now I'm looking at it, it's like, well, all right, fine. If you want to shut stuff down, guess what? I'm going to shut down my retail stores. I'll just take care of my customers where I don't have all those expenses. So I'm still in business, but I'm just not, take those hits. And it was like, talk about Alliance there. They're like, well, if you don't have a retail storefront, you can't sell Magic cards anymore. You can't sell Wizard Kids anymore. It's like, I don't care. Don't need them.
Now it doesn't matter because Asmodee is taking. They're like, I talked to him the other day, and he's like, yeah, we're done with Alliance. And I'm like, wow. So I think
and Wiz Kids and Wizards of the Coast have always been so difficult to deal with. I don't even want to carry their products, so no loss there.
You don't have to anymore. So.
Right, exactly. But back when I had my stores, they were trying to tell me, here's how you will run your business if you want to buy from us. Forget, I remember when I first opened up business in 1982, I thought, well, I'll just put a newsstand rack over in one corner. And as I'm talking to that distributor, they're like, wait a minute, you're going to sell old comics? No, you can't have any old comics in your store. Like, what are you talking about? I said, well, you might be trying to take some of those old comics and slip them on the racks to get returnability on them. I was like, look, if you're going to try to tell me how I can't sell comics if I'm going to have a rack with you, forget it, your rack, keep it. And I never did have a newsstand rack in my store. So, I mean, if people want to tell you how you're going to run your business for you to be able to buy from them, forget it. That's not what you're in business for. To be dictated terms to.
Right. That's crazy. Well, hey, Michael, for participating tonight, you get a free copy of Little Mermaid. Okay.
Okay. Didn't she start dating Namor?
The dirty version. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One that was pulled from shelf. So you're gonna get this for Christmas, buddy.
All right, appreciate it. I'll take all the help I can get.
There you go. All right, guys.
The VHS copy that they had to pull back.
Yeah.
You know, I had one of those one time.
Yeah. That's the naughty cover. So. Yep.
Well, what happened was, you know what the story was behind how that got out there in the theater. They, the way it works for animators is that you get to a certain point of experience, and then you're vested for retirement. All these animators were right on the cusp of being able to, get that benefit. They're like, okay, you're all gone. Finish up your job today, and we'll see you. And they're like, well, all right, fine. Well, if we're gone, we're going to leave a little present behind. And and that's how those phallic images got into the Little Mermaid, and they didn't catch it when it was at the theaters. And then when it comes out on VHS, you can kind of slow-mo things. And people are like, whoa, what's in the background there? I never took it out of the shrink wrap. I actually ended up trading it off to somebody for something else. But, I didn't need to see that. So.
Well, you got one now. So.
Oh, okay.
You got another one, whether you want it or not.
It's like the Batman Damned with the Batawang.
Yeah.
I had all these copies that I sold. I never ever looked at one. Like, I don't need to see that.
I didn't either. I didn't see it either. So.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, everybody wanted a copy, but it was always for their kid.
Oh, my God.
Why would you give that to a kid? That's just an excuse.
That's like saying you buy Playboy for the article.
Yeah.
Right. Is that retaining its value, its aftermarket value?
What's that?
What's that?
The Batman Damned, is that retaining its aftermarket value?
I haven't had anybody ask for it in months. It was a fad. It's gone.
Well, I figured it was a fad, but then I realized that, when DC ordered that the actual original artwork be painted over so that it couldn't be reproduced at all, so anything reproduced after that will be, black in that area. It won't be showing anything. That made me think that maybe there might be some sort of, lasting price impact on it. But
maybe somewhere down the line right now, there's just nobody's even looking for it anymore. It's kind of like Walking Dead. I kept telling people the time to sell Walking Dead is now. There's the interest in Walking Dead. Everyone's like, no, it's going to keep going up forever. All of a sudden, the comic series ends. Nobody wants to buy it anymore. Now everybody wants to sell. It's like, it's too late. Nobody wants to buy it anymore.
Yeah, I got one that's 9.8 CGC, 193, and it's been sitting on my shelf for
Right.
a year now.
Yeah, I mean, that right after that last issue came out, all interest went away. I used to sell back issues and graphic novels all the time. Like that, it stopped on a dime.
Yep.
Yeah.
No TV show to tie it to now. And like I
Right.
said, the Firepower book that came out. Boy, how are you going to do free comic book day now, Michael? You're going to just put them in your.
Actually, the last 2 days I was open, I did free comic book days, both of them, and I just gave away free comics. Everybody came in, and so I've had my free comic book day. And now every time they, of course, they're still shipping me free comic book day stuff that I ordered months ago that was supposed to be returnable or you resolicit. And some of them, they are resolicit. And they need to say I'm zeroing those babies out as fast as I see them come up.
They're not giving me the option to send them back to them at all.
Right.
That's
the thing.
Cut off, I'm cutting them back or
Yeah.
just eating them completely. So
Yeah.
like hell with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, for the way we got hit on this pandemic, we're just, we're being hung out to dry. I mean, that's why you're not hanging me out anymore.
Because they're still charging us for the fucking free comic books. And I'm like, and you're not even giving us a discount on top of that discount. This is COVID comics. Why are you still charging me what you were going to charge me last year for?
Needless to say, I've deactivated my comic shop locator service on both my stores since I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
And I asked Diamond, so am I going to be charged for this anymore? I'm still waiting for an answer on that. I'm sure it'll start showing up on my invoice again anyway. I mean, look how fast they are changing my address.
Yeah, that
the
should have been
customer
a
service
log
is
into
just
your
not there.
account page and fix it yourself, and it should have just gone through. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it should have.
Have to call in anyway.
Shouldn't have to beg for weeks. And like, no, we're still ignoring you.
All right, well, guys, I think we've exhausted our topics for the 2 week period. Mr. Jeffy, I emailed you once again asking you if you would like to come in. I realized the last time we did this, you kind of got busy.
Everybody say good night, Oompa Loompa Jesse.
Good night, Mr. Pesci.
Guys, happy 4th of July.
Everybody have a good 4th there and stay safe and just wear a mask or don't. Yeah, I believe that should be a freedom of choice.
That's right.
That's
right.
how, this is one of the reasons why I ran on to be on the city council was when stuff like this comes up, I see some crazy stuff going around in some cities around the country. I mean, abolishing the police and then giving the city council police private protection, crazy stuff. So this is the type of stuff I ran for office to be there to try to make a difference there. And, people want to be safe, but I don't think you can force that kind of activity. So we'll see what happens, though. I doubt I'm going to be in the majority, but, I'm just still going to support the rights of the individual.
All
You're
right.
a great American, Michael. Thank you.
We'll see y'all again in 2 weeks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, thanks for stopping by for another Critical Blast video. The internet is a big place, and we know there are lots of other places you could be other than here, and we appreciate you being here immensely. If you enjoyed this kind of content, we hope you'll return for more. If you click the subscribe button, you'll get a little notification of when we produce new video content. If you would like to help the channel out, there are many ways to do so. Just visiting our main hub, criticalblast.com, will do wonders. But if you're more of a show me the merchandise type of person, there are links in the description of this video to our t-shirt shop, as well as links to Amazon for the books we publish under the Critical Blast Publishing imprint, including the urban fantasy anthology Gods and Services and the YA superhero novel Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. Thanks again for visiting this video. We hope you had a blast.